Did the, for 5 months. Hello, hello, okay. Hello, hello, okay. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to call the Soltrans Public Advisory Committee meeting to order. Are there any members who have a statement of conflict? Okay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please confirm a quorum?
Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Okay, and unless there are any amendments, I will move for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. And is there a second? Second. Thank you very much. The agenda is approved. Okay. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on any matter that's not on the agenda, but within the subject matter of the Soltrans Public Advisory Committee. Soltrans PAC welcomes public comments on matters within our jurisdiction and authority, but strongly denounces hate speech, obscenity, and disruptive behavior in meetings. Disruptive individuals will be admonished and removed from the meeting pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.95. We ask members of the public to ensure their remarks are within the jurisdiction of this committee and to refrain from making hateful or obscene comments. Hi, Manny. Manny, will you please start our sign-up clock for public comment? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I went ahead and started a 2-minute timer, which is reflected on the top left corner of your screens, for any members of the public to sign up for this opportunity to speak. Currently, we have about 1 minute left on that timer. However, we do not have any members of the public that have currently signed up for this item. If you would like, carry on with the agenda. At the conclusion of that timer, if anybody has signed up, I'll let you know.
Thank you so much, Manny. Do we need to read the public comment notice?
Yes, definitely.
Madam Clerk, would you please read that?
Thank you, Chair Burnett. Members of the public wishing to speak may sign up at the kiosk in the back of the council chamber. Public attendees via Zoom may click the raise hand icon, and those attending by phone may press *9. After the 2-minute sign-up period, in-person speakers will be called to the microphone in registration order, followed by those wishing to comment via Zoom or the phone.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Okay, well, let's move to the action items. The first action item is 5A, Chair and Vice Chair selections. So Angel will present this item, which is the annual selection of a Public Advisory Committee Chair and Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. This is just the annual selection. So the members of the PAC are being asked to nominate and vote upon a chair and a vice chair position for 2026. This is a standard thing we do just about every year. And in your staff report, it discusses the responsibilities of the chair and vice chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Do we have any PAC member comments? Yes, Tom.
I'd like to recommend that you remain as chair. I know you didn't have a full term, and so I think another year would be appropriate.
Well, that's thoughtful. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Do we have any more comments from the PAC members? Oh,
You
yes,
do
I
want
did.
to, right?
I did.
Good.
I didn't expect it, but that would be great. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. Yeah, you didn't get a full year,
I didn't
so.
get it. That's true. Thank you, Dan. Okay, any more public comments, or any more, excuse me, PAC member comments?
I'd like to make a nomination of Dan for vice chair.
I'd like to second that nomination.
I kindly accept.
Okay, great. Okay, well, are there any more PAC comments on this item? No? Okay, thank you. How about the public? Are there any public comments on this item, Manny?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No speakers at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so the staff recommendation is to select a chairperson commencing with the next quarterly Public Advisory Committee meeting, and the term will expire December 31st of this year, and also select a vice chairperson commencing with the next quarterly Public Advisory Committee meeting with the same term expiring December 31st of this year. So I know we had a motion and a second on the vice chair. Do we have a motion on the nomination for chair?
Through the chair, I was waiting for her to finish.
I'm sorry.
We do have one speaker online
Oh.
who would like to speak.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Manning.
Councilmember Gordon, this is for the item 5A. Go ahead, you have the floor.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can't see the item. My screen froze. Could you tell me what it was so I make sure I'm speaking appropriately?
Yes, this is regarding the chair and vice chair selections. Basically, we're going to.
It was right before that. I apologize. I was trying to click on. What was it before that?
Oh, this is the first item, the first action item.
Oh, I just wanted to say Happy New Year's to you all and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Thank you very kindly. Happy New Year's to you.
And I
as
make
well.
sure that we go through you all before we actually pick something that we need to discuss.
Happy New Year's, and thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Manny, are there any more public comments?
No other speakers at this time, Madam Chair.
So,
Thank you.
Chair, if it could be a single motion for,
Both.
to extend your tenure as the chair for next year and the vice chair at the same time, that would be helpful.
Wonderful. I will do that as a single motion. Thank you so much, Angel, Madam Clerk. So do we have a motion on the nomination to extend me as chair and to nominate Dan as vice chair?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please start the vote.
Rachel Bagwad,
Yes.
Ginger Burnett,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Tom Barty,
Aye.
Adjua McDonald's absent, Cynthia Tanksley.
Here.
Is that an aye or a nay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Richard Burnett,
Yes.
Avery Livengood,
Yes.
Ethan Standifer.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously
All right, well.
with
thank-
one absent.
Congratulations to our
Thank
new
you,
officer.
thank you so much. Thank you. And congratulations to our vice chair,
Thank
Dan
you.
Smith.
I have a short speech prepared.
Save it for the Oscars, huh?
Right.
Okay, well, thank you. All right. Let's move on to the next item, which is action item 5B, proposed revisions to the Soltrans ADA paratransit no-show policy. Angel has a presentation for us on the proposed revision to the no-show policy.
Thank you, Chair. Soltrans is proposing minor revisions to the ADA paratransit no-show policy. At the Soltrans board meeting on January 15th, the board approved opening a public comment period to obtain feedback on the proposed revisions, and a public hearing to close the comment period during the February 19th board meeting next month. Staff is requesting the PAC's feedback on the proposed policy revisions. The outreach has begun. We've sent out over 500 letters to every current paratransit rider, and Mandy has done a great job of getting a great survey that's on the website. All of the things outlined in the staff report are in process. So far, we've had a few letters returned. We had a really good, robust mailing list. We had all of our contractor staff review it and make sure things were up to date. We only got a few back. I personally have had 5 calls. 4 have been saying, hey, do I have a no-show? Which we kind of expect that, even though the letters we try to put it very simply, very straightforward. Ms. Tanksley here has received that letter and can maybe, when it's time for comment, can maybe comment on that. We also have noticed a deep decline in no-shows and late cancellations as a result of just sending a letter about the policy. 4 of my 5 calls were particularly saying, hey, what's this policy revision about? Help me understand how that affects me. And most responses to that were positive. Oh, that seems pretty good. And I said, do you want to take the survey? I'll take it online. Or, no, it's okay. It's fine. And then one person said, yeah, I'll take a survey. So he gave it to me and I put it in over the phone. So that's really positive. So we want you to review it and give us your feedback, and that feedback will go before the board with all the other public comments we get. Hopefully we'll get some, more than just the few we've gotten so far. But we do have it posted on the buses. If you call the main line and you hit number 1, you'll hear an announcement that talks about it. So it's out there robustly, trying to get as much feedback as we can, because of course this particular group of people is a harder one to reach sometimes. So that's it.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do we have any PAC member comments on this item? Tom?
I was curious if there's any kind of quantification of the issue, whether it's a giant problem, a minor problem. There must have been some reason for the board or Soltrans staff to want to move forward with a policy. So can you give me some quick feedback on that?
Absolutely. So when we had our FTA triennial review, which we found no findings, which is a rare thing, woohoo, I was just speaking casually with one of the reviewers, and he had said, yeah, your no-show policy is fine, but a lot of agencies do it on a 30-day rolling period instead of a calendar month. So I talked a little bit about that. So I started reviewing they've given me some responsibilities with ADA paratransit. So I started reviewing the policy and found it hadn't been changed since 2013, and it could use some clarification. And so talked about it internally and said, hey, what if we do something about this and maybe make this a little better? Ron suggested reducing the advanced cancellation period from 2 hours to 1, because that's enough time to make the changes, and it's pretty common among all agencies to do that. So along with that, I noticed it talked about an appeal, our original no-show policy, and I said, why don't we have that in there? So we added that, and we decided to move from the calendar month 30-day period to a rolling period. That has the benefit of someone who has, for example, has taken 30 trips in the month of November, but in the second week had 3 trips over the weekend they completely forgot about and went out of town. Well, that's not a reason beyond their control, so they would have had 3 no-shows. So that meant at the end of November, they would have had a warning letter saying, hey, do this again in the next month and you could get suspended. So in this fashion, sorry, 543 clerk job there. It means that they would get that no-show. However, if it's a rolling 31 days, it doesn't start until that first no-show and then 30 days beyond that, which allows some of those to fall off as they take more rides. So that's a benefit to a customer. It also helps if you have someone who has an egregious number of no-shows and say they got them in, beginning of November, and it's crazy amount. We don't have to wait till the end of the month. We can do it in 30 days to say, hey, and get that ball rolling. Usually you try to talk to the person, talk to their contact and say, hey, what's going on here? Because a lot of times it's a hospitalization or they moved and didn't tell you, so things like that. So that's the whole reason for it. It's just like, hey, it needs to be done. But anytime you do something like this, it's a policy, it'll affect people. You got to let the people know. So get their feedback.
Okay.
Can I just quickly speak on the operational side? We were seeing late no-shows and late call-ins, those numbers rising. Our contractor tracks that on an every 2-week basis, and we were seeing those numbers climb, and so hence reducing the amount of time that you have to call in from 2 hours before to 1 hour before gives people a little bit more time. I'm feeling okay, I'm not feeling that great. They can make that call, and then we can operationally pivot. So we were seeing, and Angel mentioned it earlier, that already just having the letter going out, we've seen a decline quite dramatically in the no-shows and the late call-offs. So operationally, we were tracking and seeing that was an issue, and it was affecting our on-time performance. If we're going to someone's house, going there, they're not even there, waiting the 5 minutes. The people that are in the bus, as well as the people that are waiting for us to pick them up, that affects their trip as well. So this cleanup operationally, it is a brighter-faced policy change, but it is going to help us operationally improve our on-time performance for paratransit.
Thank you. Thank you, Mandy. Dan?
Yeah, I think it's a more liberal and understanding policy, with the changes. And I would offer a motion that we endorse it.
Thank you so much, Dan. I just want to make sure we don't have any more comments or anything, but thank you so much, Dan. Any more comments from the committee? Yes. Oh, I see. Okay, let's start with Cynthia. And we'll go to-
I agree with what Dan said, but then I'm thinking about life happens. You know, you can have somebody who, I'm diabetic. It could be someone with a seizure, and they just really couldn't get to the phone. And I would hate to isolate them because they couldn't get to the phone. You know, there were other things that happened in life, and I'm like, life is hard enough. We don't need, I think, I agree with that, but then when I looked at the third one, the appeal, that, I'm like, wow. I think it should be something that could be addressed a little better.
Thank you. Do you have any suggestions for how to address the appeal?
Well, I believe that it should be case by case. Instead
is.
of everyone thrown, all together.
Well, it is. The appeal would be by an individual, and they could have somebody else speak for them. They can do it by letter, by telephone, as easy as possible. And the idea behind it is not to penalize anyone. And a lot of things happen, issues beyond someone's control happen. We've only had, since in this agency, one time suspended someone. It didn't last very long, and it was not because of the rider, but because of the rider's family had an animal who was charging bus operators. So that circumstance warranted some action, but generally speaking, it's more designed to curb just not caring, not calling up, to cancel, things like that, more than, we don't want to punish anybody.
I agree, but now you've opened up another door, because what about people that get on that are visually impaired with, special needs animals and stuff like that? There is no policy for that. I never saw it.
But when you say no policy, what do you mean specifically?
Well, they have the animals on, but some of the animals are trained. I see them, they come on, they just go under the seat and they stay there. There are some that are a little frisky, and they're all over the place. I was looking through the booklet and I never saw anything that mentioned special need trained animals.
That's actually a good point to bring up. One of the things that will happen after this is we're going to revise the the Paratransit Rider's Guide, which includes the code of conduct, which is the same as on fixed route bus. An animal has to be within the rider's control. It does not have to be leashed, but it has to be in their control. Okay. And as long as it's a well-behaved animal, it's welcome, and that's including pets. Pets we prefer in a carrier, but if you have a big dog, it's nice if they're well-behaved and right next to you.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Does that answer it?
One more thing that bothers me is when you take, I don't want to have a no-show on mine because it was the either the driver's problem or dispatch problem.
Anything that's the agency's fault will not be counted as a no-show for the
Okay,
rider.
I just want to make sure,
Absolutely. It's a good thing to make sure of.
because that language between the rider, the driver, and dispatch need to be fixed.
Yes, it does.
Would that be addressed soon?
Yes.
This year?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Do we have any more comments from the PAC on this agenda item? Yes, oh, yes, please.
Right ahead, Avery.
Thanks. I didn't have questions, but you made me think of something, Madam Clerk. So the second instance and the third instance, now that they're not defined by the month, I think could benefit from a definition in the policy. It just seems to me like with a 30-day rolling window, somebody could miss 4 trips in a row and be subject to the second instance, if you're reading it strictly.
We'll do that. That's reasonable. Yeah, so an instance is a period of 30 days. So you have your first 30 days, starts with your first no-show, and it ends in 30 days. And then if you have another no-show after that 30 days, it doesn't start until that next no-show.
Okay.
So it can be 50 days between the first set of no-shows and the second set. so
But
to
if
speak.
someone had 5 no-shows in a row, that wouldn't trigger the second
It
instance.
might not. It depends on if it makes up 10% of their trips and it's over 30 days. So if they have 5 no-shows in a row, the first thing we're going to find out is, hey, was this beyond your control? Was there hospitalization? Was there some problem with the schedule? You know, we're going to check those things out. Because again, the idea is not to punish, but to discourage from just egregiously kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what made me think of it, because if you're sending out a letter, it'll take more than a day or 2 to reach the person. So to get the information about why they missed those trips, by then they might have already missed more. So I just wanted to make sure that people wouldn't be subject to the second instance before they get the warning letter.
Exactly. And each time there's a no-show, a little card is dropped in the mail, said, hey, we didn't see you today. Let us know if this was beyond your control, as it would be counted as a no-show, kind of friendly format with a little bit about the policy on it, so they can call us. Usually we find folks are very concerned about that, and they will call in and say, hey, I just had a tummy ache and I forgot about it because I wasn't feeling well. Well, you can't help being sick, so that's not there. The things that we get often is, I just forgot, and those would count against a person if there were no extenuating circumstances. But generally that's rare. And even if someone has a couple of no-shows, if it doesn't meet that 10% threshold, they're not going to be penalized in that first 30-day period anyway. It would be, if it happens again, then you'd get a suspension letter. And you have time to appeal. So the suspension would occur, and it's written in there, if you'll, let's see, on the no-show policy attachment. It talks about, I'm going to double check that. I will check that and make sure that that's clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Avery. Yes, Cynthia?
Yes. Does that policy also apply to people on a subscription from dialysis?
Yes, it does. But if we are aware of the issues surrounding dialysis and dialysis patients, bleeding is a very common thing. We try to encourage, we work with the dialysis people when we can, to say, hey, if bleeding is a common problem with this patient, can you please help them to schedule their return trip for a little bit later so we're not having to come back? Because generally we wouldn't come back, but in that circumstance we understand. So it's a very rough situation to be in.
I've seen it. People, we pulled up, and this lady, she was still bleeding, and they let her go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And the driver took her back inside so she can stop bleeding, but she was in fear of being left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where is the common decency in here?
Exactly, and we understand, so we do often have to come back for a dialysis patient. And that is above and beyond the ADA requirements, but we're very blessed in our organization to have some lovely humans that want to make sure that the vulnerable are not overlooked or mistreated.
even if it's 8 o'clock p.m.?
We've had people go back after 8 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
We don't want to strand
Just
anybody.
want to make sure.
Absolutely.
Because I don't go to dialysis, but I want to make sure that if I had to go, I am covered.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Generally, we do, like I said, we try to work with the customer and the dialysis center to say, hey, let's schedule the trip 15 minutes later than you normally would to give yourself time to have the dialysis center stop the bleeding.
So would that be considered a will call pickup?
We don't exactly have will call pickup, but it's just, it's not part of the policy per se, but it's a courtesy. Because we have an understanding that we're not going to strand anyone. Do I have that right, Mandy? We're not going to strand anybody.
I can't, I don't know the answer to that, but I
Okay.
know there are provisions once we're out of service if the dialysis needs to provide us a ride home. I think we'll have to return back to you with what exactly, with specific dialysis, what that policy is. Because we also have other riders waiting for us and waiting for our service. But yeah, we can return back to you with what exactly the policy is for dialysis.
You know, if you're able to walk, that's the easier. But when you're non-ambulatory, that's a real concern. Because I've been left before. And I'm not saying that Soltrans did it, but I've been left before. And when you're in another city and you've been left, that is not cool and it's not fair. You don't know who to call. You call, they're not picking up. I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
you.
Cynthia. So I'm hearing that we'll come back with a little more information on the dialysis patients.
Yes.
I had a quick question, just more about the administrative management of this. Are there any concerns with this increasing any type of administrative burden with, say, moving from the monthly to the rolling period? You know, you have to track, as Avery was saying, you know, there's a little more tracking involved, it sounds like. So is that going to increase administrative burden and also the appeal process?
Not so much for the agency, but it will for our contractor, but not a lot. And we're basically, right now, we're looking into a new software, so hoping to find something that will do that tracking for us automatically. Because the one we have now, it does track the no-shows, but you have to look at the 10% trips yourself. You have to kind of look at that. But it's mostly going to be on the contractor. And it's already something that they do now. You know, they little tick box if they say there's a no-show.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. All right, are there any more PAC member comments on this agenda item? Okay, how about public comments on this item, Manny?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we do have one member of the public who would like to speak on this item.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gordon, please unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you so very much. And I appreciate what Cynthia pointed out because my father was in that situation. And so we definitely want to make sure that we focus on something like that. So when you all call in, when we have our board meeting or come in person, I would hope that you bring that up. So if we need to make that a policy, we can do that. Also, too, one of our board directors recommend texting, that a text go out. Like if you have your order ready at Target, they send you a message and say, are you here? Are you close? Whatever the case may be, you can check one or the other. And so we recommended that as well. With today's technology, that's a really great suggestion, and I do appreciate staff being more empathetic about the 1 hour versus the 2 hours. Because anything can happen in between. You might not have felt well 2 hours ago, but you might feel better now an hour. You know what I mean? Or you're still not feeling well. Guess what? We can't do it. But we requested that you see how you all feel about maybe some texting going back and forth to us with today's technology, and they don't even have to come to you, and you can just go ahead and go straight on. I still don't feel well. Boom, text and keep it moving. But I hope that you all call in. If you can't come in, I understand that, but we want to hear from you, PAC members. You're there for a reason. I value your time, and but so please consider that so the rest of the colleagues can hear how you are feeling. And staff does a good job. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like hearing from you, the PAC yourselves. Thank you so much, because this is very sensitive to me, because I get a lot of concerns. Not thank you. I'm happy that it's not this particular agency, but other agencies where they have been left. There was an emergency. They did not come back. They were stranded, and so we don't we're very blessed that Soltrans does not implement that unhuman side, but I'd rather it be a policy than that's so sweet of them not to leave us. You know what I mean? I want something solid and secure. So if you could please think about that and make sure that when the minutes are being posted to us, that we're reading exactly what it is that you're asking. Again, staff does an amazing job, but we want to make sure that nothing gets lost in the transition of reporting back to us. Thank you, because I read it all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Gordon. Thank you.
No other speakers at this time, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Manny. Okay. Do we have a motion to, well, first, I think we did have a motion from Dan to approve, if you want to present. Endorse. Okay, thank you. Right. Thank you so much, Dan. So we do have a motion to endorse the feedback here, endorse the revisions, I should say, to the no-show policy. Do we have a second? We have a second. Okay. And Madam Clerk, can you please start the vote?
Yes, Chair. Rachel Bagwat,
Yes.
Ginger Burnett,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Tom Barty, Adjo McDonald,
Yes.
Cynthia Tanksley,
Yes.
Richard Burnett,
Yes.
Avery Livingood,
Yes.
Ethan Standifer.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Okay, let's move forward to the non-action informational items. These are discussion items for informational purposes for the PAC. Item 6A is a presentation on the comprehensive operational analysis update. Mandy will present the COA update. Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Chair, members of the PAC. Today I'll be sharing a brief recap of our COA service concepts that were approved by the Soltrans Board in September. I'm going to be sharing progress updates, highlight major work milestones, and outline next steps that we have happening, and ask a favor of you before our implementation of August 2026. Next slide. Oh, thank you, Manny. So just as a recap, on September 18th, the Soltrans Board approved the concepts, and just like a quick summary here is the local, we're expanding service, increasing frequency, the coordination is going to happen at the Vallejo Transit Center, where everything is coming in at the top of the hour and leaving, so that you can transfer across the whole system, all routes, Solano Express and local at the top of the hour. Of course, we will have some of the express, the red line, at a more frequency every 30 minutes, so that will come in at the half hour. But at the top of the hour, you will be able to transition from any route to any express route to any local route, which does not currently exist. There is some gaps of 45 minutes between one route and another. And then, of course, the increased frequency, which we'll see on the 7A and 7B. And then on the express side, the blue line is going to have consistent hourly service all day. Right now, that's a peak service that has quite a big gap in the middle of the day, so there's no ability to traverse between Vacaville and Fairfield or Walnut Creek in the middle of the day. Increasing frequency on the red line between Fairfield, Vallejo during the peak AM and PM peak, and then midday, increase that frequency between Vallejo and El Cerrito del Norte BART. The blue and the yellow line will now terminate at the North Concord and Concord BART. We got a lot of feedback and a lot of analysis that I shared with you earlier, not this year, last year, about that's kind of a major connection for our riders and where we're seeing a lot of Solano County people traveling to, and that now is a huge hub for travel within Contra Costa County. A lot of people are moving to the Veranda, to the DVC. We heard some members of the public talk about that connection to DVC and how important that is. So that will be our new terminus for the blue and the yellow line. And then the green line will have peak service in the AM and PM for that direct connection from Fairfield to BART. So that's just a quick summary. We can go into detail on the next slide. I go into a little bit more detail of what each of the local routes will be doing, and the summary at the bottom there. And then on the next slide is just another recap of all the Solano Express. I wanted you guys to have that. We're going to be taking this information and making a fact sheet so that the members of the public have this information. They have a quick guide to see what the summary of the changes are now. And then as we get closer, we'll have maps and we'll have travel training tools and we'll have schedules for them to look at. But right now we want them early, not to scare, just kind of a summary of this concepts and be thinking about these changes and how they're coming forward. All right, next slide, Manny. Okay, so what are we doing? Staff has been working hard in our heads. August is so far away. I don't even want to think about it. That means school's starting again, but there's a lot to do for a system-wide redesign. We have the planning portion of it. We need to redesign these routes. A lot of the routes are adopting other portions of one route or molding two routes together or traversing a whole new street that we've not used before within our service area. So we are designing those maps. We're making the schedules to make sure that we have that coordination that we promised between the transit centers, between Fairfield, and especially at BART, that connection so that you can get off the bus and go straight to BART and vice versa. But now a new connection is at County Connection, that connection that will take you within Concord, Martinez, Pleasant Hill. We want to make sure that we can make those schedules and that transfer clean. So we're working very hard in our scheduling software and making sure that everything we promised we can do, which we had draft schedules. We know we can do it, but we're refining it now. Marketing. We got to tell people what's going on. We had a huge, robust outreach period, getting that public feedback earlier. So people have heard, they'll say, yeah, I think I remember you saying something about that. Starting in March, we're going to start tabling. We're going to public events. This is where I need your help. What community partnerships are you a part of? What organizations are you part of? What events do you know about where we can go out there, do a presentation or table? How can we get to your community partners? And then asking you, can you help us share this information? Can you use your social media platforms, your own organizational presentations? Can you help us get the word out? I'm hoping at the next PAC meeting to give you kind of a packet of flyers, FAQs, information, and that way you have the tools you need, but also you can send them to us and we can help do specific trainings, we can do specific events. So we are making a schedule right now. We have a full outreach plan that we'll be sharing with you. So any information, any events, anything you know of, please send that my way. We're happy to come and present. I want, just like we did with the COA, I want people to be annoyed with me. And you already talked to me, Mandy. I know that my Route 3 is now going to be bi-directional. Thank you so much. Or now I get to take the 1A and 1B and I have 30-minute service to Six Flags. I know. Stop talking to me. That's my goal. If people are annoyed with me, I've done my job. The other big department that's kind of taking the brunt of the workload for this is our general services. We have about 106 brand new stops throughout Vallejo, and then of course the new Concord stops. So we have new poles, new bus blades, new measurements that have to go out. So our general service department is doing a full audit of bus stops that currently exist, bus stops that are going to be discontinued, and where do we put those resources and reinvesting them in the system, and then making a list of shelters, benches, lights, everything that we need at the new stops. Majority of the stops are where service already exists. Examples of that is the Route 1, where we only traverse in the clockwise direction. Now we'll have a bi-directional service there, so where there's only a stop on one side of the street, you'll have that mirror stop on the other side of the street. Most of our service now is not a loop. Everything will be bi-directional. So if you start your trip on one side of the street, you will be able to come back to the other side of the street, making that customer experience, rider experience a little bit easier for you. So General Services is doing a ton of work right now. Next slide, please. Okay, so speaking of General Services and their hard work, MTC, which is the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, has been doing for, maybe 7 years, it was pre-pandemic, looking at, excuse me, signage in the Bay Area. If you're riding the bus in San Francisco, you have to know their naming features, their mapping features, but if you're coming to Soltrans, we maybe call it something different, and we have different colors, and we have different icons. Across the Bay Area, every agency has their own kind of brand identity. But for a rider who's riding a bus, they should be able to understand the schedule, the mapping, the icons across all the Bay Area. It shouldn't have to be a learning curve. And so MTC has been doing a lot of research, meeting with all the agencies, and kind of developing this standardization of how to use transit and how we outface and describe transit to the rider. So someone in San Francisco is having the same experience and same understanding of transit as if they were in Fairfield. And they understand the mapping, they understand the schedules, the wayfinding signage. It's all a universal transit language, moving away from English and moving to icons so that English language, second language learners have all the same experience. So these standards are going to be adopted regionally the end of this month, early next month. And because Soltrans is doing a system-wide redesign, which requires us to update almost 99% of our bus blades for this project, we are going to adopt the standards early and work with MTC to adopt the standards system-wide and be helpful as a pilot to give rider feedback, system-wide experience, where right now they have a pilot at El Cerrito del Norte BART and SMART in Petaluma. So just kind of isolated as a transit center, we will be one of the first agencies to adopt these standardizations across the whole system. So we have a unique opportunity to provide MTC and help refine them before they, excuse me, make it a standard region-wide. So we will have new bus blades. We're also doing a ton of outreach, so we'll be able to explain these changes, show off new blades as examples, walk people through what the colors mean, why we're doing this during our COA outreach. So there'll be a lot of hand-holding, it'll be a lot of change, but it'll be all compiled as once, and we will have the outreach to help explain to people. So very cool. Soltrans has been a part of this wayfinding project and standardization from the very beginning. So really excited to see these standards being adopted and being a part of rolling them out, kind of one of the first to do it. I'm very excited about it. But I think it'll be a unique and really for the rider, a good opportunity to have this standardization across the whole Bay Area. So I'm very excited about it. So you'll see new bus stops and signage throughout Soltrans. Something cool that happened to Soltrans last November is our Golden State Risk Management Authority, which is kind of our insurance company, highlighted Soltrans and the COA as an agency that is kind of spearheading the ability to manage fiscal and operational risk by matching service levels to realistic funding and ridership goals. And so our insurance agency put out this article sharing amongst other transit agencies, amongst other agencies, that this is a good opportunity to kind of be responsible with your agency and using our funding properly. We were awarded 20 points for this in our insurance RMAP, which is Risk Management Accreditation Program, and that got us 20% of our risk management monetary credit back. So our insurance said, you're being a really responsible agency, you're doing things, you're thinking about your fiscal health, you're putting in goals, and then we received money back from our insurance agency because we were, what is it, when you're a good driver, you get money back? We are a good agency, we got some money back, and it was half of our goal amount was just the COA. So it was a really cool spotlight. I could provide you the link if you do want to read the whole entirety of the spotlight. It's very proud. Okay, so what are we doing next? We're going to work with our contractor, our consultant, which is Jarrett Walker and Associates, to finalize those draft schedules. I want the public to see those as early as possible so that they could start changing their travel habits and thinking about it. We're almost done. The General Service Department. I did not turn that off. The General Service Department is nearly complete with their stop inventory audit, and then we're going to start ordering any of the accessories that are needed for the bus stop in the next couple weeks. And we're going to begin outreach and our marketing campaign middle of March. We'll have a stakeholder meeting middle to end of March. We're looking at rooms availability. Of course, you all were included in the first rounds of stakeholder meetings when we were gathering feedback. You'll be included in this next phase of stakeholder outreach. And then that's it. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions about the COA.
Thank you so much, Mandy. Do we have any PAC member comments?
Excuse me, Chair, just want to mention there's a meeting after ours. We've got to close out by 6:30.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you for that time reminder. Yes, so do we have any quick comments, I should say, for the...
Yes, obviously the changes up in my part of town, where 37 and Fairgrounds are. Currently, there's the Caltrans construction project going on there with the new diagonal.
Diverging diamond.
Divergent diagonal, or whatever they call it. That's obviously going to affect the R. And then, of course, the updated number 2 is in that vicinity. Do you have any updates as far as when that construction project's going to be done and when the Six Flags bus stop, for example, is going to come online again?
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Richard. That we attend those weekly construction progress meetings. The Six Flag, the stop that's directly across the street from the Six Flag entrance, is back reinstalled and operational. So that's on the Route 5. Excuse me. And the project estimated timeline, so cars utilizing the diverging diamond and that construction being complete, is estimated to be in April. That, of course, is weather pending. They've already had a couple of delays during the holiday season. It was very rainy, so they did have to push back some of the phases. Our hope that even though it is April, that's enough gap between our August service change that I feel very good that by the time that project will be complete, even if it does take a little bit longer, that our changes will not be affected by that.
Yeah, I was just curious how the R is going to navigate that diagonal, because based on how I read that map, I think it's going to be a challenge how the R is going to navigate both going to Fairfield and coming from Fairfield.
Correct.
Using that diagonal. So it's going to be interesting how that happens. It looks kind of dangerous to me.
Yes, the plan is to, once construction is done and cars can traverse the diverging diamond, that we will do a safety assessment and a timing assessment. We don't want to affect the coordination the red line has, that we'll have to go through, the bus will have to go through two stoplights and make a U-turn to utilize the stop. So there will have to be a full safety analysis and timing analysis done in order for us to stop there safely. The good thing is the new service, the Route 1A and 1B, that's 30-minute service to Six Flags from the Vallejo Transit Center, and also someone could transfer from Sereno Transit Center as well. So there will be options, more opportunities to transfer to get to Six Flags if we can't safely take the red line directly to Six Flags.
Thank you so much, Mandy. Manny, do we have any public comments on this agenda item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Currently do not have any members of the public with their hands raised nor signed up in the kiosk to speak on this item.
Thank you so much, Manny. Let's move to item 6B, the next informational item, and that's the agency update. Mandy will present this item.
It's me again. Thank you, Chair, members of the PAC. I'll try to fly through this. This is just kind of an update of what we've been doing since the last time we saw you. The one I do want to highlight the most is our Youth Ride Free pilot program. Again, this is a pilot program that the board approved and that we received funding for 2 years. So we're not losing anything in our fiscal health, that the ridership is being reimbursed, but it still is doing so good. Every month I check this ridership and I'm thinking, it's going to level out. We've reached our plateau. It's still above what it was, and it surprises me every month. And you could see during December when school wasn't even out or wasn't even in, and it was the holidays, and we had a huge jump between November and December. It's awesome. I think we're creating a new generation of kids using transit. They know that it's something that's accessible to them. They know it gets them to their destination. And if half of these youth grow up to use transit, we have above and beyond done what the goal of this program was. So it's my pride and joy. I'm so proud. It's good. If you come to the transit center, you see kids transferring between the routes. You see them out and about. It really is. It's something to be so proud of. And please continue to share that youth 18 and under can ride the whole system for free, even on the express service. Get them moving, get them used to transit. It's very, very happy. Okay, I'll keep going. We continue to have our Second Friday events. Again, you guys are always welcome to join or come participate. Richard comes down sometimes. This is our opportunity to have other community partners come down and table. The transit center, all the routes serve that transit center, so you really have access to everyone who uses transit. We are there rain or shine with music, snacks, goodies, information. It's just an opportunity to touch riders and talk. The last two have been very lowly attended, but it's because it's been freezing and raining. But we're there. We're there no matter what. We celebrated Transit Month. People from all over the Bay Area came and wanted to see the Vallejo Transit Center and the art that's along the Transit Center, and then continued their walk downtown and celebrated the art in downtown. And it was a great opportunity to talk to people from all over the Bay Area. Next slide, we do all the senior health fairs in Benicia and Vallejo, just making sure that our seniors know we have programs for them. We want to keep them moving. We went to Benicia and Vallejo's. We celebrated our Transit Employees of the Year. I really want to give a shout out to Rose Llewellyn, who is our Employee of the Year. Patrick Sandoval was our Safety Operator of the Year. Johnny Barrios, Maintenance Operator of the Year. And Wasi Amjid, who is Operator of the Year. All great employees, and it was really nice to celebrate them. We had a Treat Yourself event. Sorry, next slide, Manny, thank you. This is the Second Friday on steroids. We have radio stations, all the social services, hot meals. It's really an opportunity to help the unhoused or those that are at risk of being unhoused. We had 22 social services. It poured, and everyone still came out. We all stayed. And I think we gave away about 300 hot meals. So even though it was pouring down cats and dogs, people still came and enjoyed the services and the meals that we passed out. We had extra food bags from our November Treat Yourself event, so we gave them out at the Second Friday event, so people had opportunities for shelf-stable food bags. Next slide, please. Our operator, Charles, saved somebody who was having a mental health crisis on the bus, and so we highlighted him at one of our board meetings. He went above and beyond as an operator, and we think about our operators. They drive the bus, and they're just going from A to B, but they are true heroes, and they care about their community, and Charles is really a shining star of somebody who exemplifies just Soltrans, just a wonderful story. I'll keep going. We did the tree lighting in Benicia and had free service that took people from the parking lots around the community and brought them down to the event. And then we did have a Mad Hatter parade and service. All the downtown service supported the Mad Hatter parade for the holidays. Our holiday service reminders that went out. In the past, Soltrans, the whole week between Christmas and New Year's was Saturday service. A lot of feedback that people go back to work between those days. So 2 years ago, we changed that policy. Just want to remind you that we do Saturday service on excuse me, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and then Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day are the only non-service days. Next slide, please. New staff, Paul Weinstein. He's our new IT and DevOps engineer. Cool dude. If you see him around town, he knows all the technology stuff. Why the bus? You could see it in apps, and he's really smart. That's all he needs. Declan Knowles is our new general service analyst. He is doing all that work that I talked about, general service audit. He's been in the car with his vest on, writing down copious notes about every single of our 465 bus stops. So Declan, cool guy. If you see him out in the community, it's a great dude. And then finally, for those of you who know her, Pat Carr, who was our general service manager, officially retired just this past board meeting in January. If you know Pat, you know how much she loved this job, she loved this community, and she loved art, and she loved bringing art to this community. So her legacy lives in at 1850 in the art that's above the electrification, Gary's Circle and the art and the community garden there, VTC, the art that's in the transit center, Sereno Transit Center, the art that's at the Sereno Transit Center. I hope to fill her shoes and continue to incorporate the art that and the passion that she had for art in bringing it to the community. But I will miss her. I loved her dearly. I love her still. But she did officially retire. And then this year, we will be working very hard on the system redesign, which is what was derived from the COA, and doing outreach, and I look forward to working with all of you and taking all your community suggestions and all the places you're going to tell me where I'm going to present and share information. Thank you so much. But that's what 2026 is going to look like for Soltrans. We are just making sure that everyone is aware of the system redesign and that transition is run as smoothly as possible. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions in 30 seconds.
Thank you so much, Mandy, and please give Pat our congratulations for the retirement. Do we have any PAC member comments? Yes, Cynthia, and we really have very little time.
Okay, hello. Okay, thank you, Mandy, for that awesome demonstration you have given us. You know, I'm glad that you're coming to the people to see, well, what do you need, and that kind of stuff, and I'm grateful for that. But in regards to the getting the feedback, you ever thought about an app where they can go to the app?
Yeah, we have an app. It's called Transit App. Transit
No.
App?
That's a transit app to find where the bus at. A different app to where, you know, well, what do you think about this? What is your suggestion? What do you think we need? And that kind of stuff. Have you ever thought about that?
No. An app.
Just did.
An
Okay.
app that would allow riders to provide feedback. Is that how?
Yes.
We do have on the website, which is also mobile friendly, if so facto, that every page of our website has a leave a comment. If you did want to provide feedback, you could do it.
Right, but if you had a specific if you put a comment out there, well, what do you think about this? And somebody can just, instead of going through the whole website, they can just answer it right then. Like a QR code.
Oh, we do use QR codes, yes, yes.
Thank you for that recommendation, Cynthia. So it looks like Mandy's taking down that idea. It's
Yes.
a very good one for feedback.
Yes, all of our outreach materials have a QR code on them.
And
so
that's good to know.
You can access it through your phone if you need to.
Thank you so much, Mandy. And Manny, are there any public comments on this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No speakers at this time.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And then we have item 7A, which is a non-discussion item. Do any, and this is the assistant performance report, do any PAC members wish to pull this item for discussion? I don't think we have time, but, okay, good, you saw my stare. Okay, great. All right, well, thank you. Are there any public comments on this item, Manny? Thank you, and with no further comments, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks.